Welcome back to Investing and Trading Live, sponsored by Trade Academy. Once again, I am your host, Josh Lilliquist. On the last segment, we covered some income strategies utilizing these financial markets, and a lot of people are just trying to gain an edge in these financial markets, whether they're looking for a strategy to build for now. Say you have a great job, making good money, and you have a great career, but you're looking to do a little bit more. You want to have a more secure retirement time and getting there with confidence. People are looking for at the market for different income strategies. So we talked about those strategies, what they could look like, the different assets that are designed for that. And boy, we had a lot of people texting in for that free trading and investing class specifically on income strategies. So if you did miss that, simply if you're driving, you might want to pull over, but just text the word investing to the number 210, and that'll be for 2 seats, one for you and one for a friend, for a free trading and investing class strictly on income strategies in these markets, utilizing these different assets like futures, Forex, and options. You can also go to tradingacademy.com and pick your own seat there. We also love our subscribers to the podcast. We're getting a lot of traction on this podcast. We're trying to make this the #1 global financial podcast, Investing and Trading Live, wherever you listen to your podcast, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and Spotify. If you're watching live on the old YouTube, just go to Josh Lilquist on YouTube, and you can check out the old archives there. There's a few archives that might be a little interesting. Al is such a good-looking guy. You might want to check him out as well. So I thought he was going to make a comment there, but we'll just continue. We'll try to talk so he can't make a nice little comment
if
there.
I make a comment, people might actually look at us and make a determination for themselves.
Yeah,
it might not be the same determination you just made.
Hey, it's whatever we say it is. That's what it is today, right?
I'll go with that.
I look like Brad Pitt. That's just the way it is, I guess. So
you keep getting Brad Putt and Brad Pitt mixed up. By the way,
oh God, Brad Pitt. Are we talking about options now?
Yeah.
There you go. So Al, with these markets that are at all-time highs right now, we're seeing a lot of people that have been coming to these free trading and investing classes that do have great retirement accounts.
Right. Mm-hmm.
They're like, you know what? I'm back to where I was from a few years back, and maybe even a little bit higher, and they're feeling really, really good about their retirement. But they're like, it looks good, but I know it's not going to be enough. And they're like, I wish I would have done something earlier. Well, it's never too late, because now is the time to start. There are strategies that are utilized in your retirement accounts, especially if you feel like you're not going to have a secure retirement. There's strategies that are designed to build those now. So say you're 55, 60, and you want to be able to build those, right? And you want to retire at 62, 63, 65, whatever that might look like. There's strategies for that. But also, if you're at retirement time and you want to retire, but you're like, you know what, I'm going to have a part-time job. People are looking at the markets because that retirement account is your money. And we're seeing a lot of people, Al, that want to be able to use that to their advantage. Now, with that, what are some of those strategies? Let's just say somebody has an IRA. Better yet, say somebody has a 401k starting there and they retire.
Right.
They can roll that into a self-directed IRA and they can manage that. So if you have an IRA, 401k, what are some of the things that you're seeing a lot of people look into to have a more secure retirement?
Yeah, well, let me comment on that roller. If you have a 401k and you retire, that is your money to take. You can either take the money out, you can roll it over into a self-directed IRA, you can leave it in that 401k. But if you do that, just remember that a good portion of the growth in your 401k came from your contributions and your employer's contributions. That's no longer the case. That extra money is not going into those accounts, but money is coming out of it. How is that happening? Well, you're still paying fees for somebody to manage it. And what we find is that the investments that are within most 401ks, 403bs are producing mediocre results at best. Plus, you're always 100% exposed to market drawdowns, to market crashes.
Did you say always 100%?
You are 100, always 100. That kind of is kind of redundant, isn't it?
It kind of is.
You are 100%. If I did that, if I was doing that on the internet or doing it in an email, it would have told me.
It would have, yes.
It would have corrected me.
There you
so
go.
thank
but
you.
You know what? I am AI, so there you go. I helped you out.
What would I do without you?
I know.
So, There's something you can do. You can roll that money, that 401k money, into a self-directed IRA. Now you can invest in many more things that are maybe more geared towards income, because in retirement, yeah, so you need an amount of money that you can count on, but you also need additional income. When you're working before you retire, you rely on your job, the income from your job, to get you through the days, the weeks, the years. That income is gone when you retire, but the cost of living is still there. And one of the things that people have to take into consideration is a lot of the retirement advice that's out there really was developed back maybe 30, 40 years ago. And
Think about that for a second. You're using a strategy that was good 30 years ago. I'll tell you what, the rotary phone works really well too still. Did you know that?
It does. I haven't seen one or used one for a long time, but they used to
just
work.
as good as the Apple iPhone.
Sure, you could probably make a phone call on it.
You might be able
So
to.
you could do that on an Apple iPhone too? Make a phone call?
You can, yeah.
Yeah, what do you know?
Yeah.
But if you're using something that maybe is too old to really take into consideration what's happening now that's different. Well, number one, people are living longer. And number two, there's more volatility, and things change. If people are relying on a portfolio based on a certain amount of returns every year, are you also taking into consideration things that can happen, like death, like healthcare issues, like divorce maybe? Those are things that you don't plan on when you go into retirement, but are real. They can happen. They happen to a lot of people. So wouldn't it be great if you knew how to continue to generate income when you retire? Harder to do in a 401k because you have limited assets there. And also, what's really hard to do with a traditional 401k, 403b is protect your assets. When you go into retirement, that's the number one concern you should have. How do I protect what I have? If you are happy with what you have right now when you go in retirement, you want to make sure that you keep that and that situation doesn't change for you. And all of a sudden, maybe at 70 or 75 or 80, you have to go back to work.
And just to kind of elaborate a little bit on that, what Al is talking about is, yes, markets are looking really, really good right now. But you can't afford at retirement time to have a drawdown in the markets. And if you think it's not going to happen, well, you might be mistaken, because it's happened several times. And if you ever spoken to anybody that retired in 2000 or 2008 or even 2019,
Right.
they 2019, they lost a substantial amount of money. They probably had to go back to work. So if you haven't experienced that, I get it. It's not going to make any sense. You'll think, oh, you know what? I don't know that. But that's why it's so important to protect what you have in those retirement accounts.
Yeah, protecting. I'd say probably the two most important things. Number one is protection, and number two is how much income you can generate off of what you have in retirement. That's more important than the size of your retirement account. You can continue to grow your retirement account if you know how to generate income and then protect those assets. So there are a number of things that we talk about for people that are going into retirement or getting ready to go into retirement. And if you are just kind of, I guess, buying into the typical Wall Street advice, which is a buy and hold strategy, just invest in certain things, put a portfolio together, and hold on to it, the only way you are going to benefit is if the market goes up. And we know the market doesn't just always go up. It seems like it has been for years, and I think, unfortunately, a lot of people assume it's going to continue doing that. But even in a good environment, a good market environment, things become overvalued, overbought, and they go through a drawdown, a kind of a return to more normal valuation. And those are things that you want to make sure, if that happens, why not benefit when it's going down? You can do that. Hard to do, if not impossible, in a traditional 401k. But if you have a self-directed IRA, or even if you put some money just into a regular investment account, number one, you can have the protection. There's several different ways you can do that. And number two, you can use the leveraged assets for income that we talked about. So in a self-directed IRA, you have access to everything you have in your 401k, plus options, plus futures, plus Forex, plus crypto, plus real estate.
More tools in your tool belt then.
Absolutely.
Yep, and that's why, Al, we've been having this retirement talk a lot. You're seeing a lot on TV, and because people should be feeling really good right now. And the key is to protect that. And we have a lot of listeners, Al, that we've been seeing come into these trading and investing classes that want to learn how to protect those retirement accounts, how to protect those 401ks and IRAs, and secure that retirement so they know themselves and their families will be okay. And they want to know what those concepts and techniques are. And they've been coming to these trading and investing classes. So I have a class specifically on retirement accounts, retirement protection, 401ks, and IRAs. Simply to come into one of these free trading and investing classes strictly on retirement accounts and protection, just text the word investing to the number 210, but you got to do that right now. Text investing to the number 210 for 2 seats for this investing class strictly on retirement accounts, or go to tradingacademy.com and you can pick your own seats there. Al, we got a lot more to discuss. I want to talk more about what trading and investing actually looks like as far as the life of a trader. This is Josh and Al, Investing and Trading Live. We will be right back.